I received this package over the weekend and it was shipped for me directly from South Korea. What it is it's a glassless 3D monitor and it's created by a company called Mopic and they're based in South Korea. So I got in touch with Mopic, or actually, correction, they got in contact with me about 2 years ago, and I started collaborating with them directly, providing them some 3D content by giving them some side by, or 3D 360 panorama videos for them to use for their demonstrations when they're at trade shows like the CES 2020. And then our company, we actually provided 3D walkthrough file so that it's pretty much like a game in a sense without the actual game element of, so it's an actual building design that we provided them. It's a separate exe file, and then they were running that throughout the CES show, and you get to see the glassless 3D monitor in play with a 3D object. So this is different from other 3D monitors because you do not need to wear any polarized glasses or frequency glasses, and you're able to see in 3D depth perception because the camera will track your eyes. And so I just opened the box up and it comes with the stand, the cables, and then this is the web camera. And the web camera will be used to actually track your eye positions, and then it'll actually calculate where the angle will hit onto the monitor screen, and it'll show a different image for your left eye versus right eye. Now this unit here is actually the Mopic device, and this is a standalone device that you use with the 3D monitor, and so you actually don't need to connect it to a computer. You can just use this device, and it actually has an app loaded inside of it because it's running an Android OS. And so the app will allow you to play 3D side-by-side or top-bottom videos using their app, and the app will convert that image into an overlaid image that will be calculated to show different images for your left eye versus right eye. So before I start, I wanted to show clips of the CES show that I attended earlier this year, and this is the Mopic booth where they were demonstrating their past products, which were the Hollow Glass and then the Hollow Snap, or the Snap 3D, sorry, which is for their tablet and for their phone, to provide the same like 3D screen that you can do to your existing tablets and phone. So as you can see here, I'm actually our company provided the demonstration file for a live walkthrough for a building that we designed in SketchUp, and then we use a program called Enscape to kind of do a live walkthrough, which also allowed for a side-by-side 3D stereoscopy mode. So they use it as a demonstration for their show at the CES. So today I'm going to be reviewing Mopic's new 3D TV, and it comes with the Mopic device, the multimedia box, and it actually comes with a monitor, and the monitor itself actually has a slight screen to it. You can't really see it, but it's they put a lenticular lens screen over it, so that allows you to do 3D stereoscopic video or image. So as you can see here, there's a web camera located here, and what it does is it tracks your eye, left eye and right eye, and with the lenticular lens and how it actually shapes, it will actually show different images for your left eye and right eye without having to put on any 3D glasses. And so we're gonna turn this on quickly, and you actually have two different modes. You can actually just do a straight from the Mopic device, or you can actually do HDMI input from a laptop. So I'm actually going to be showing both examples, and we're going to see how this works. So as you can see, when I turn it on, it's going to show, and it automatically opens up the Mopic app. And this is actually an Android device or Android OS system. And so we're going to press F1 here. And so F1 will automatically play the playlist that's on the Mopic app. And so what you're not seeing here that I'm able to see is that there's a 3D stereoscopic view. So I'm actually seeing depth perception. So this part right here is actually in the front, and everything kind of moves backwards. And how it's doing it right now without any glasses, as I mentioned, was the lenticular lens and the ability for the web camera to look at your left eye versus right eye. So it's actually really cool right now to be able to see the depth perception within this video. So as you can see here, it's now showing my HDMI input from my computer monitor. So if I go to this side, you're going to see in this monitor what my laptop is showing. But the setup is actually really simple. In the end, all you need is the monitor and the Mopic device. The laptop is optional, but you're allowed to do more with the laptop. So if you have a 3D game, or if you have like a 3D video that you want to watch, it's a little bit easier to use a computer. So in my case, because I'm in the architecture field, I actually like using Enscape with my the programs like SketchUp or Revit. And what I can do with Enscape is actually put it in 3D mode, and so now I can walk around in my design of the building in 3D. And so you can do it in a VR mode, but they actually have a 3D TV mode, which is nice because that allows me to use this monitor and see it 3D. But before I do that, I want to explain the setup. So as you can see here, technically you just need to have the power and then the output that's connected to the monitor, and that's it. But what I'm actually doing right now is I'm also connecting my mouse. So once you connect your mouse to it, here you can actually see that I have a mouse that's able to move around within the Android device itself. And then another thing is that I have the HDMI in from the laptop, HDMI out, so that I can actually see a duplicate of my screen right now. And so the first test I'm going to do is actually trying to see how it works with a 3D 360 image. So I'm actually going to my laptop real quick, and it just has to do with the way that I'm actually set up right now. So there's a tool that you can use, GoPro VR Player, which is actually really nice. It's a very simple VR player that GoPro came out with, and it allows you to do a lot of different things to it. So in this case, I actually have some images that I've taken or videos that I've taken from Korea and Japan with my 360 3D camera. So I use the Views camera to take these images and video. So what I'm going to do right now is I will load up. Let's do a really cool one. Yeah, so this is top bottom video, and usually GoPro is set to just, right now the input is set to nothing, but I'm actually going to change it to stereoscopy mode, and it's going to give you this option here, if you can see. So this is the side by side versus the top bottom, and so it just depends on how your left eye right eye image is split. In this case, because it's using a 360 3D panorama, it's going to be a top bottom video. So as you can see, when I do that, it just shows a 2D image because it's in a 2D output mode. So for the output, I'm actually going to go and change it to 3D TV mode. And what that gives me is a left eye, right eye video. So you can see if I'm dragging my mouse here, I can actually go left eye or move around in this 360 panorama. Okay, so now once I have this side-by-side image that I want, what you can do is press the F3 button here. And what you can't see right now is that now it's converted it to a 3D image. So I'm actually having depth perception within this image right now. I know it's hard to see because you're not actually seeing anything, but I'm actually seeing depth perception. So you can see the slight slant, and this object here is actually popping out and it moves backwards into the image. So it actually does a pretty good job of doing the stereoscopy. And so we actually bought their prototype display model, and so they actually reached out to us and they replaced the monitor that we purchased for this new final product, and it actually works really well. It's a lot smoother, there's less lag. In the prototype there was a lag between the input from the computer to the monitor because it has to do a lot of calculations from the device here and then output it out. So this works really cool, and I don't really get a lot of the ghosting. Some of the ghosting I see here, it just has to do with the nature of the 360 camera that I was using. It did not do a great job of some of these images. So that was just the way that the image was taken that's kind of making it blurry. So I'm going to see if I can change the image out to a different one and test it out again. Actually, this time I'm going to try video. So I had a compilation video that I took, or that I made.
to test it out. And so now I'm going to look at it in here to see how it looks. This is a 360 3D video, but I'm able to rotate around what's in the video 360 degrees, and it's giving me 3D depth perception. So here it kind of doesn't look great, but this has to do with the 360 3D camera. There is a limitation on when you're taking 360 3D videos that you want to make sure that there are no objects within like 10 feet. If not, it starts getting clipping, so you're going to start seeing the clipping in certain locations, and that just has to do with the fact that there are people who are too close or objects too close to the camera that it's cutting out the left and the right eye. But that's actually the limitation of the camera and not the actual monitor itself. The last test I'm going to do now is going on to YouTube and trying to just play a 3D video. So this is actually really easy. If you have a 3D monitor or even a VR headset, if you just type in 3D SBS, which is a shortcut for side-by-side movie, they will actually show you videos. So you're going to see this acronym a lot, 3D, and then SBS or TB. And TB will mean top bottom, and SBS will mean side by side. And so now they have a lot of videos that people have been uploading, and there's a lot of communities out there online that they make stereoscopy videos and stuff. So let's try using, try this one. So we're going to put in full screen mode. Okay, and then I'm gonna walk over to the side and then look at it here. So it works really well. The only problem with some of these YouTube videos is that they are trying to have some objects that kind of pop out of the screen, and so the problem with that it gets too close to the screen that it actually starts showing split images because it's pulled out too much. There is a little bit of a problem with the depths here, and I believe if you connect the keyboard to the Mopic, you're able to change the depth perception, but I actually don't have that tool right now. I don't have a keyboard connected to this Android device, unfortunately. So the next test we're going to do is I'm actually using a program called Enscape. And Enscape is a plugin that you can use for programs like SketchUp, Rhino, Revit, and I believe ArchiCAD now. And you can what it is, it's pretty much creating like a 3D walkthrough game without the game element from your 3D model that you're building for your architectural design. So as you can see here, this is an example. Right now I have it in stereoscope mode. And so as you can see, it's going to show you the left eye, right eye. You can actually do it as a 2D mode, but I actually wanted to see how this works with the stereoscopy turned on. And so the reason why is because when I was testing out the prototype that we bought from Mopic back in January, there was about a 2 second delay from your input from your computer to the monitor because it was calculating. So in this case, I wanted to see how much longer the lag is going to be compared to before. So previously it was about 2 seconds. So we're gonna now test this out with the F3 button here. Okay, now it's converted to 3D. Okay, so there still is a slight delay, but it's a lot better than before. And it's maybe about like half a second delay, maybe less than that. So it's actually not bothering me when I'm moving around. So this is really cool because I'm not seeing as much ghosting as before, because before there was in the prototype version, a lot of the elements were kind of out of focus, and it didn't really know how to line up some of the images perfectly. But now I'm seeing way less of a ghosting, and it looks really cool. And it helps because it feels like you get a definite sense of space from this. And so we like using Enscape to kind of show clients, or even for me, for during the design phase, I like having Enscape on just to walk through the building and see if there's any coordination issues that we need to kind of look for. And so this kind of helps me be in the space more without having to put on a VR goggle. And and the reason why I started looking into this technology, and the reason why we started collaborating with Mopic, was that initially when I tried to do some VR efforts, I noticed that there was a huge it was hard to get people into VR, because a lot of people didn't feel comfortable wearing the VR headset for one of two reasons. One of them was, a lot of the our clients didn't want to really be seen wearing a VR goggle because it looks a little bit embarrassing. And the second part was certain people thought that they'd get dizzy, so they were very hesitant to wearing a VR glass or headset. And so for this actually allows you to be able to have depth perception and get a little bit more immersion into the building or the design without having to put on the VR headset. And it's just quick. You don't have to do setup. Once the monitor is ready, you can just kind of use the monitor and you're good to go.
So overall, I thought that this 3D monitor works really well, and there's been a lot of improvements. So I thought I'd break down the kind of pros and cons of this 3D TV, 3D monitor. And so for some of the pros, obviously it's the ability to view 3D depth perceptions without using a 3D glass or a VR headset, which is really nice. That you're able to just kind of look at a monitor and be able to see 3D. The second, I think, benefit of this is the simplicity of the actual device itself. You actually don't really need to plug in a mouse or plug in a keyboard to the Mopic device. The F1, F2, and F3 buttons should allow you to do most of what you need to do, but just plugging in a mouse allows you to move around in the app a lot more freely. So it's very simple to use. Another pro is that the it's a standalone device for the monitor and the Mopic. So the parts all come in one box with the monitor, the Mopic device, and also the webcam. And if you plug them in together, you don't actually have to use a laptop. The laptop or the 3D Blu-ray player or whatever for the HDMI in is just optional. Another great pro about this is the ability to load your own 3D images if you make your own, or if you have movies that you own that are 3D. You can actually, put it into a micro SD card, and there's a slot in the front where you can put in the micro SD card, and to load your own images or videos that are side by side or TB. Another great thing about this is that it actually allows for 4K output. So you actually can do a UHD video that is side by side. So you're kind of getting a better resolution. Another great pro is that it allows for HDMI in as an option, so that if you have a laptop or if you have a Blu-ray player that supports 3D, then you can actually use the HDMI in to plug it in and use it kind of more freely. So you actually have a more variety of options of being able to view in 3D. Although if once you get into using a laptop, you'll have to have the proper programs like GoPro VR player, or if you're creating games in Unreal Engine or Unity, then you'll have to kind of create that side by side image to be allow for the viewing. But that is a more of a technical thing that some people are really into. So I don't think that is really a hindrance. So I'd say it's a big plus because it allows me to have more freedom with this 3D monitor. The Mopic device actually has the F2 button that I can actually switch between side-by-side mode and then top-bottom mode. So this allows you to use a variety of 3D images. So you can use the SBS or the TB image or video, and you can convert it to the 3D mode with a click of a button. Now, for the cons, there were a few cons in a sense. One of the biggest one would be that if you're doing the HDMI input mode instead of using the device directly, there is a slight lag. between your input from your mouse or your keyboard to what you're seeing on screen. It has to do with the video input into the device and the device converting it into an overlapping image to show on the monitor. But it's really not too noticeable. As I said before, it may not be great for like competitive gaming, but when you're doing competitive gaming, you're not going to be playing in 3D mode. So this is, probably good for like a casual gaming, so like Tomb Raider, or I believe if you use third-party software for the computer called 3DGM, or there may be some other software similar to that where they actually have a list of games that they can actually support and convert the 2D into a 3D gaming mode. And I believe like Hitman and some of the other games are on that list. And there's about 250 games I think that they support. So you can use a third-party software to kind of expand the range of games that you can play. So this is kind of a con, but I think it's just the reality of the technology is that you can only have one person viewing it at a time, because what it does is it tracks your eyes, and from that eye image, for the calculation, it will actually convert the video from 2D to 3D. So you cannot have multiple people looking at the screen, or you can, it's just that the second person will not be able to really see the 3D image. So as I was explained by Mopic, was it can support TB mode within the Mopic device itself, but the problem is that you cannot actually move around or look around for 360 3D panoramas, which are what the TB mode videos or images are usually for. And so they took the VR mode off of it, and the biggest reason why has to just do with the way that it lags, and it's actually slows down the video quite a bit, so that they took that function out. But as you saw in the earlier part of the video, the workaround that I did was actually use my laptop, and I used GoPro VR player to be able to convert the TV mode into a side-by-side output that I can actually move around, so I can look around left, right, up, or down. So this is a very new product, and if you want more information, you can go to their website at mopic3d.com, and you're going to see on the top tab for the 3D monitor, and you can kind of see more information about it. Overall, I'm very happy with this product, and I see myself using this almost not maybe daily, but once a week at least, while I'm working on some projects at my office, so that I can actually kind of view with the depth perception using this monitor. And I will be testing out some other things with the monitor and see kind of what the limitations of what I can do in 3D are. So I may try to do an Unreal Engine test or something in the near future. But I'm actually really excited to be kind of trying and testing this out even further. So there you have it. This was my review of the Mopic's 3D monitor that is very new and just came out, and it will be shipping from South Korea if you order one. But I know this is kind of weird for some of you who are used to seeing my videos on just maybe just model making, but I actually am heavily involved with the R&D stuff in my office for technology, and part of it is the whole VR, 3D immersion, augmented reality. So I actually will be using this channel to do a couple more tech reviews in the future as I see them. And maybe I'll do a video about how 3D images and videos work, which is a really cool kind of lesson, I guess, to learn. So look out for those videos in the near future, and thank you for watching.